Eric, you have been very bold about what you think about these static scanning tools that just look at applications line by line and sort of call out what could be troublesome code. Why do you think this is a problem? Why don't you think this is, sufficient for that matter?
These vulnerability scanners like Checkmarx, SNCC, Veracode, they all evolved from virus scanners of the late 80s and early 90s when I was just starting my career. And virus scanners would go through code line by line and try to match the code with malicious code patterns. And for the past 30 or 40 years, there's been no evolution. Meanwhile, the cloud has been invented. There's been exotic artifacts created for computing, like containers and functions. Applications are no longer monolithic. They're distributed. There's a lot of interconnectedness.
What are you missing specifically?
What you're missing is the interconnectedness, the paths of attack. And a simple line-by-line analysis, it might tell you one vulnerability, but it doesn't even tell you if that vulnerability is even used in the application. What you need to fix are the vulnerabilities that are reachable and can actually be exploited in some way.
These scanning tools are telling you about all your vulnerabilities, and you're spending 60 to 70% of your time fixing things that don't need to be fixed.
We create a graph model of your application, which we call the app graph, and it represents the interconnectedness of all your code. It's not an executable. It is a model. And you test it for security purposes, and it is very path focused. What is the path from one thing to another thing to another thing in the code? And so when we find a vulnerability, we determine, is it reachable in the code? And then we've had to coin new terms like triggerability, because even if it's reachable, it might not be capable of being activated or detonated in some way.
If I understand, with Backslash, by creating this digital twin, I will get that information of, okay, what reaches what? Knowing that, what can be triggered within what reaches what.
Exactly. There are two extra filters on prioritization, and everyone talks about cutting down the noise and cutting down false positives. If we tell you that a vulnerability is triggerable, you got to fix it. Okay. Yeah. You might have 10,000 vulnerabilities. 100 of them are reachable, but only 3 are triggerable. You fix those 3 first, okay, to do real security. You fix the other 97 reachable ones to satisfy your CISO, and you fix the other 9,900 ones to satisfy the compliance authority.
You can see this for yourself, and you got to just go check them out at their website, and that's Backslash Security. And the URL for it right there, backslash.security is right there. So type that into your computer and go check them out.